sometimes on our pod, like we use the red, when you press it, it goes red. You're doing it to computer, so I can see, and we'll be talking, and someone's telling a great just before pod story, and it's crushing. And I'm looking at Kirky, I'm like, press the fucking button. I'm like, fucking.
Take the rabbits in.
I'm so excited to welcome our guest.
I'm Alex, by the way. How you doing, mate? Good to be here.
Good to meet you.
Hey,
Nice
Alex.
to meet
Nice to
you,
meet you.
Alex.
I'm so excited to welcome you onto our pod. It's from Community Noticeboard. It's Alex White.
What are you going to find? Yay. Oh, you always press the wrong button. Yeah. This is tradition.
I forget. I haven't learned this. And I'll just say, I'll mention it at the end as well, but if anybody knows anyone in Canberra, or if you're in Canberra and you're listening, this Saturday, this is out tomorrow, 15th of March at 4 p.m, go see Community Noticeboard live.
Baby. We're gonna
go
be in
see them
Canberra.
live. And also, it's the 10th of May.
Yeah,
10th of May.
in
They're
Sydney.
doing Community Noticeboard live in Sydney. We were at the last one.
It was so funny.
We had
Yeah.
a great time.
It's gonna be so fun.
I accidentally fucking cameoed. I say that like I didn't enjoy
Storm
it.
the stage,
I
don't you?
stormed the stage.
You did.
I stormed the stage. Yeah, I didn't mean to. I wasn't unhappy about it, but that was such a great show.
No, it was so much fun. We had a blast, and Canberra was fun, and then Sydney, and yeah, it is fun. It's a fun low, like, because like you've done festival stuff.
Yeah.
Like it's like when it's your own comedy show, there's so much stress. But like a pod, it's just like your mates hanging out.
Yeah.
And it's fun, and people enjoy it, but we also do put some effort into prepping it and do some like jokes
Yeah.
up top and everything like that. But it is like the funnest. Low, like not low effort, but it's like low stress because it's so much just relaxed. Like I think if we over prepared, it wouldn't be as fun. You know what I mean?
For
if
sure.
we over tried to formulate it, but we try to just make it a bit loose and a bit fun.
I think it was such a good. I was so impressed by it because I thought it was such a good balance
Yeah.
of like you guys have clearly thought about it and
Yeah.
sat down and been like, okay, let's say some funny stuff up top.
Yeah.
And then it was that mixture of just
Just letting it happen.
let's do the pod that people enjoy.
Yeah,
You know?
the most stressed we were before show was Jamie trying to figure out how many beers we need on stage. And honestly, I don't know if you saw it, we had like 5 beers each for a 50-minute show. And Kirk was like, I'll get some more beers. You got beer? And it's like, I got the beers. You got beers. I got backup beers there. And I'm like, had beers at my feet. And so I couldn't, like, I was on a stool, so I couldn't move because I'm like trapped.
Tick all the
But
beers
he
over.
doesn't have the concept of just, hey, can someone get me a beer? I would have done that.
Yeah.
I'll cameo again just to go get Jamie a beer.
We're so
It
used
was
to
probably
that.
his job. It was his little job. They're like, Jamie, you're in charge of the beer.
You're in charge of the beers.
I would say that's a self-appointed
I
job
know,
for
we're
sure.
all like, because when we normally do it, Jamie will mid-pod get a beer and mid-pod take a piss. And we're like, Jamie, you can't piss during the 50-minute show that people have paid for. We can't have a timeout for you to piss.
I do love the idea though of you guys just sitting there quietly on stage and then at the audience starts talking. You're like, shut up.
Just hear Jamie flush in the distance. And we're like, he's coming. He's nearly done, guys. He's nearly done. And we're back again. Yeah. Oh, man.
No, that's good, man. How have you been?
Good, bud. Good. I'll tell this quickly because I'm a bit hungover because last night Billy Darcy had a birthday party.
Oh, very nice.
And it was a house party, so I'm very drunk. So there were speeches.
Oh.
And
how old was he turning?
30. Big 3
man, he's so young, isn't he?
isn't he?
I always forget that about Billy.
Yeah.
Like,
I know. He's sort of been
He
around
has the
for ages.
vibe that he's like 35, 40. Like that he's like
yeah, and the lifestyle.
Yeah.
But so there were speeches, and it was, so the speech givers were so Rowan, Neil, and Freddie and Pat were going to do speeches. All right, 3 comedians, 3 mates, great guys. And then apparently on the lead up to it, one of Billy's mates from back in the day, like, because he's got a lot of mates from the beaches and stuff. It wasn't just all comedians there. One of his mates is like, mate, I'd love to do a speech too. And this guy did a speech at his 21st and apparently bombed. And so Bill's like, all right. He's like, we're going to give Dorso's going to have a couple of minutes up top. And it's like,
it's a
They only
comedy
gave
night.
him a couple of
yeah. So they were like, give George, and they're like, listen, we got 3 comedians, and probably 2/3 of the party were mates from high school. So we got to give a high school guy a speech.
Sure.
But he's not going to be able to follow the comedian, so give him a run
This
up
was
top.
his setup. Oh no! So you didn't This wasn't public.
They weren't elaborating that to this degree, but this was like talking beforehand. Yeah. And so Rowan was going to do a speech, and then he was messaging me and Drew, and he's like, "Mate, give us some lines on Bill." So we were writing a bunch of jokes. It was a lot of fun. Then on the day, I think Rowan had a few too many cones, and so he was like, bit panicky. He was like, listen, it's going to go too long if we've got one like mate plus 3 comedians. So him and Freddie did a joint speech. So that I'm like, great, that makes sense. But then, so what happened was, we're like, all right.
Drew and Jamie at your wedding.
Yeah, exactly. Just combine forces with our powers combined.
Yep.
So the speeches start, and there's like, let's give it to Dorso. Everyone be kind to him. Dorso goes up, annihilates for 15 minutes. Like crushing.
Wow.
Unbelievable. Like great lines, great personal stories.
Oh,
he has some great, he's like, me and Billy have known the bloke since he was 8 years old, and he's doing all these really like sweet stories about, mate, have a look at us. We, you know, if you thought we were bullied in high school, yeah, we were. We were picked on. And then he goes, and like we still really good mates, you know, things change, things stay the same, whatever. But, you know, one of us has grown up, one of us has a solo podcast. So, and it's like,
God.
and he's like roasting him, but it's so sweet. And we're like applause breaking. And Billy it's so adorable because Dawson's giving a speech. The whole crowd, and just behind him in the shadows, you can just see Billy. Billy's like behind, so you can see Billy's face in the shadows. And every time it's like a real gut punch, Billy's just like, oh, okay, so he's copping it. And then at some point, he just lands this joke. I wish I could remember half of them, but he just crushes with this joke. And then you just hear Billy go, all right, wrap it up, mate. He does. I swear to God, 12 minutes, and we're like, more. And he's just reading like this one time he did this. He's telling about Billy's first kiss, about these things, all this. And then it's like, whew, Rowan and Fred go up. They're both high and drunk, middling, okay? Like, that was the first time I met. Like, some great lines, got some good laughs out there, but it was like struggling to follow Dorso. And they did it, like, it would have been completely fine in reverse. It wasn't like they were doing bad, but it was like, what was that? And then they did a funny concept where they're like, we're just going to define some classic Billy lines. So it was like, get around me means this, and it was just some jokes around that. I mean, I was a bit frustrated. Some of my jokes didn't make it in. Well, none of ours did because they changed it. This is my one. I'll throw one out there. So I go, the most famous Mr. Darcy is, of course, from Pride and Prejudice. And also Pride and Prejudice, 2 of the main components of any story Billy would tell.
That's very good.
Yeah, so I was like, get that out there. I was waiting to like be sitting there and nodding along while everyone loved. Didn't happen. Don't worry, I told everyone at the party individually. I did this again.
I can see a drunk Alex walking around going,
what do you think about the speech? Yeah, good. Well, what about this line? Some other good ones are in there that we pitched. But anyway, so they did pretty well, but you can tell that they're not doing as well as Dorso. And the thing is, the mate, it was like, you know, the boys from high school were like, you could tell they were a little bit like, oh, what, these bloody comedians? Yeah, bloody Dorso's doing better. Pat turns up. Pat has been opening for Frenchie all up and down the coast. Love Frenchie, but Pat is too busy to even turn up at the start. He turns up in a tight black T-shirt. He's late. We have to delay the speeches for Pat. He rolls in completely unprepared for this speech. No. Bombs to silence. He bums. Like, Pat is the first one who'll cop to it. He just was unprepared. He didn't think about it. He said, I asked ChatGPT, like, as a joke. Like, he was like, I asked ChatGPT and he just read the ChatGPT and it just started being unfunny. No. And then it was like, oh, this is bad. I'm going to leave. And then Billy's like, all right, that was, I don't know what the fuck that was. But anyway, give it up.
That is tricky if it's a comedian's birthday.
The pressure.
I know.
Because if it's a wedding, if it's bombing, just fall back to heartfelt.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
Just go, haha. But seriously, Alex, Sabs, I love
you guys.
Yeah.
You just tear up a bit and everyone goes,
literally. You can
100%.
You can flip that into emotional. But if you're doing comedian's birthday,
it can only be so soppy without it being a bit over the top. And also, like, the bloke who's known him since he was 8.
Yeah.
you can lean on that, all right?
So much material.
So much material, so much personal stories. And I just think we were so like, and then it was quite humbling as a member of the, the comedian part of the party.
Yeah.
To just be like, our boys got trashed out there, we really.
You're on the sidelines.
And
we gave it a shot.
Everyone was like, Dorso. And we're talking, Dorso was walking around like puffing his chest out. Lovely guy.
Stole the show.
Dorso was walking around like he was like the dad at a wedding, like meet and greeting every party. He was going around. And he was like, "Hey, how you going, Dorso?" From there before, and and we were like, "What happened?"
Pictures, getting selfies and shit.
Exactly. Yeah. What happened at the 20? And he's like, "Mate, 21st was
They're
just
coming
nervous."
up to you guys asking where the toilets are.
Yeah, exactly. So he was like, because he'd bombed at the 21st, and he was just like, "I was nervous, I didn't know what I'm doing." But 9 years later, you grow up a little bit, you get a bit of.
Oh my!
He was giving his
victory speech.
Yeah, it's his redemption.
It was a redemption arc for this guy.
I actually really loved that.
I loved it. It was actually
So
perfect.
sweet.
The comedians needed and can take a humbling. It would have been a lot worse for good for him to get one out. And,
man, 100%.
Anyway,
Wow,
it was very
good
funny.
What a great
Dorso.
story.
But I
Great
just think that definitely like just speeches it was just like. Comedians were just so full of themselves. We're like, no one else is funny, right? Some of the funniest people I know have never done stand-up.
And also, it's so funny, and I'm including myself in this because I've definitely done this. I'm not pointing the finger, but it's so funny that like when you put in that situation, it immediately becomes about yourself and your performance.
Yeah.
Like I'm sure Dorso was be like, oh, this will be nice for my mate to hear. He's not even thinking, am I going to crush? Am I going to like? He's just like, I'll just talk from the heart, and he's just annihilating.
Yep, 100%.
That's so fucking funny. I love that so much.
Yeah.
And I love any story of a comedian getting humbled as well. Like we've all been there.
Oh, 100%. Because when he went on and finished, I was like, I would hate to follow this. Like it wasn't like I'm like, you can't win. You couldn't have. You'd have to just have a performance that, like it was like no one expected it. So I'm like, this is going to be tough for anyone.
I love
Nothing you can do about it.
I love they're like, we'll let you go first.
Yeah, it was so patronising.
We'll get you out of the way.
2 minutes, mate. 2 minutes. 2 minutes. Will everyone be nice to him?
Quick, honestly, just get up and wave.
Yeah, if you get stranded, just put your hand up.
Anything.
We'll save the day. Anyway, so that was a lot of fun.
Love
Shout out to all
That's
those guys.
fantastic,
Yeah,
dude.
it was fun.
Oh,
mate.
what a lovely story. And happy birthday to Billy Darcy.
Yeah.
We'll have to get him on.
Big 3-0.
Yeah, man. That's crazy. I just didn't realize he was so much younger,
Some people are like that, mate. And then you meet people, especially in comedy, I don't know, like, I guess in anywhere, right? But you just meet them, you know them for ages, and then you're like, you're how old? Like some people I thought Patrick Glemko, I thought he was like 19. He's like 38 or something.
Wow.
And
it is weird because you know what it is? It all feels like we're in the same class.
Yeah,
because you know what I mean?
Yep.
We're all going to these comedy clubs together and it all just kind of feels like, we're relatively...
Just the same comedy class.
Yeah. I mean, it's a bit like you with dance, right? Like you have all different ages.
I never know how old anyone is at any one time. It's always a shock to learn someone's age as an adult, I think.
Yeah, for
totally.
sure.
Everyone just, I think, especially when you're like, remember at school and there's someone like 2 years younger or 2 years older and you're like, well, you're twice my age.
Yeah, you're so old.
Yeah.
You're 14, you have a beard, you're on a motorcycle, I don't know what's going on. And then it's like 2 years now is like nothing. It doesn't matter at all.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, man, 100%.
Yeah.
Well, man, I'm so excited to talk about the topic that you've brought today. As you know, we let the guests choose the topic because we don't want to be like, we're talking about this, and then be like, I don't have any. And everyone's childhood's different. What makes them think of nostalgia? And when I asked you wanted to talk about family TV viewing, which we've got some stories and we've got some stuff.
Awesome.
But you specifically wanted to talk about Australia's funniest home videos.
I just think it's
which I love.
I
was like, I've been racking my brain all week. I'm like, was he the guy with the voice? Like, was he?
Oh my God. Imagine.
Honestly, I just love because when you asked me, I was in Melbourne and I was like, I thought it would be like family TV or whatever. I just think it's funny because you guys did game shows. Was it last week or something like that?
Yeah.
And there's a little bit of overlap there, but I do think there's like another like family TV, like just sitting around. Because one, we don't do it anymore.
Exactly.
Like, whether I assume if you live with your family, like you're not terrestrial TV or whatever is not really a thing.
Yeah.
Like and so it, no one. like some of these shows, no one's pulling them up on Netflix. You know what I mean? Right? No one's scrolling through to find Australia's funniest home videos except through like laughing at it ironically.
Yeah.
So back then it was just what was on.
Yeah.
And it was and then you just the entire family unit had to sit and watch it. What I think is so funny. But it was Australia's funniest home videos triggered for me because I'm gonna have to do someone's joke here. But it's very funny. But I was in Melbourne and Angus Gordon is really funny comedian, but he just literally when you were asking me, he was I saw his set and he did this bit about Australia's funniest home videos, and he just had this great line where it was like, because you know when you see people fall over normally, the empathy part of your brain will kick in and you're like, oh, that's not good. But then Australia's funniest home videos, they'll have a sound effect there to make you know that it's okay to laugh.
I know this bit. Yeah.
And then he would be like, yeah. So people say comedy is tragedy plus time, but I think comedy equals tragedy plus boink. And that fucking leveled me. I think it's such a funny joke. So when you were saying that, I'm like, that just reminded me of Australia's funniest home videos and just how ridiculous that show was.
So ridiculous.
Sorry, go on.
No. I mean, like, I do, like, I just flooding back the memories of it, but it was just like, how could you make a lower rent TV show?
Oh, for sure.
Right?
Is this something that you watched with your family?
100%. It would be. I think it would be on in that time. There's like certain times of TV viewing as a family where it's like between the news and like maybe 8 o'clock or maybe just before the news, there would just be like, it's like you're too busy to change a channel.
Yep.
So if something was just on, maybe after the news, it would just play.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Because your clum's cleaning up the table, dad's doing something. So no one's like channel flick. So if you know, whatever's on now, whatever's on after, as long as it wasn't like offensively annoying, you just let it play.
And that's why, especially in like the late night shows and all those shows, like when they talk about lead in, it has to be whatever the show that plays after has to be, you know, you've got that spillover audience from the show before. Yeah. Totally. Because they'll just leave it on.
They'll leave, and that which is like such a insight into how much confidence they had in the show. It's like, hopefully people leave this on.
Hopefully it'll get left
Hopefully
on.
people, we just don't annoy people enough.
Yeah.
And no one's turning it on. No one's turning it on.
Yeah.
So we got to pull the people and it won't grow. It will shrink and we got to stop you know what I mean? We got to
stop people leaving,
we got
basically.
to plug the holes in the boat because we're not getting any more water in it. So it was like, so it would be like that. And so it would just be on. And I reckon I've watched more hours of that show.
Just from it being... So it wasn't like a, hey, white household, white family.
No
it's
alarm
on.
goes off. And we're like, everybody! Australia's funniest home!
Running to the lounge room.
Pushing each other off. Making sure you get the best seat.
Yeah. Did you guys watch it? Like, because
Not really.
I think
you weren't...
like a little bit in the background, I think.
Yeah.
But I find it funnier now than I did back then.
Yeah. Well, here's the interesting thing, Alex, and I don't remember a ton about it, and we talked about this on the last episode. We went through a weird period in my family where we went to a lot of tapings.
I did hear bits of this.
Yeah. So one of the ones I believe we went to, I must have been really young because I don't have a lot of memories of it, but was Australia's Funniest Home Videos.
Yeah.
And we were watching it before you got here, and the audience is aggressively huge. I mean, rows upon rows. Yeah, I'm literally looking at it and I'm like, why do they think they need this many people?
What's going on? Why is this?
Literally, I was like, that's a lot of people.
That's
like, you could have
great.
just put 20 people in, you know what I mean, and made it look big. But it was literally like had different sections and stuff.
Wow, that's real.
Yeah.
I wonder how, like, because I mean, you're in that world, Danny, but I don't know how they... Because I know that certain shows, I think you were speculating on it, where it's like they'll film 5 episodes in one day. But this one, it's like you're going and then you're just watching like a slideshow of other videos.
100%.
You're not even watching anything live, really. They're just like, hey, we're going to play this video.
100%.
And so, like, could they just like have a big... Could that just be the crowd from the grand final?
Oh, yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah, no.
Do you know what I mean?
Look, I think you're right. And I also think what they could... if they wanted to, if stuff didn't land. I mean, it's weird though, because I think they could do it in the edit, but I also think having like working in TV, you know, you get to know how lazy people are as well, and they're just like, oh fuck it, that'll do.
Yeah,
and a show like that, it's like, yeah, they could slip it out and whatever. But we were listening, you hear so many things bomb. You hear so many things play of like, oh no, I now slipped my knee. And then you just literally hear.
Imagine falling over, breaking your leg, and you're like, silver lining, at least I put on Australia's Funny Some Videos, and then it bombs.
Well, because they do something.
No one even
Lucky
laughs.
we got a watch from
But I was trying to work out because I was like, the vetting or the selection process for the different clips seems really weird. I might even just pull it up and just so we can just have a look.
What they say though?
Well, I just mean that some of them you're like, what was the decision in being like that's because they must get like. Do they get sent a ton and they're selecting the best of? Or are they just putting on the ones that they got that week?
Gotcha. Well, I can say we did submit a video once.
No!
Yes.
Oh my God, of course you did. Now it comes out. Yeah, it was just on in the background. And now we learn. The 5-year story.
Yeah.
It's all right, buddy.
Yeah, we were studying it for 5 years. No, so we were in...
You broke your leg, didn't you?
Yeah.
Close.
I know. No, so we went to... we had a skiing trip as a family. I was like 16. And Dad...
Set the camera up.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure you told me that your parents did this too. But my dad, when he got a VHS, whatever it's called, like a camcorder, original camcorder. He was like, well, I guess I'm just a documentary filmmaker now.
Yes, we talked about this. Your dad did the same thing as me. Yeah.
Every single thing, Dad would walk around and just film. And it's like, there's all this home footage on holidays of Mum like sitting on the bed in a hotel and Dad's just filming her. And Mum's like, what are you doing? And he's like, just looking at the hotel.
Just showing
and Mum's
you
just on the bed and she's reading a book. And she's like, can you not? And he's just not even saying anything, just panning the room.
Say anything.
Just
like a lot of panning.
Why? When someone's behind the camera, do they not talk?
A lot of slow panning.
And then if he talks, he's like a whisper. He's like, Dave, and he's like, just getting ready for dinner. Nice hotel.
That's what your dad did.
Nice hotel.
There's Sheree. There's Darren.
Yeah. And aggressive use of zoom in and zoom out. Dad's like, just, you know what I mean? Like the little slider zoom. It's like zoom in, refocus, zoom out, zoom in. It's so ridiculous.
Have you still got these videos?
Yeah. Like there's so many. There's a really funny one. I think I may have been telling Danny. I'm pretty sure it wasn't on our pod. Right? I think we were just talking. I have met Danny before. I'm friends with Danny. We're doing hang out outside a podcast.
No, we were.
I don't think I was telling this, but so there's this video. So Dad, we went. So I'll loop back in a minute to the Funny Some Videos, but we went to Bali as well as a family. I was probably like 14 or something, and that was I think one of the first ones Dad had.
I think you did tell me that.
And then so it was Bali or like I think it was like maybe Vanuatu, but anyway, I think
peak camcorder time.
Peak camcorder,
the family holiday.
100%. So we're in. I think it was Vanuatu, and in those. What the big dad move is, okay, we're here. It's like, Mum wants to go shopping or go to the beach, but we're going to have one cultural day, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
So then there's always one thing where the people, the locals are
so white. I love it.
They're like rolling their eyes like, these fucking white dogs.
Yeah.
Well, like, so they'll do some sort of ceremony, right? So it's some sort of like local custom of something. And we're not like viewing them doing it for real. It's clearly just a show for, they do like a luau in Hawaii. I don't know what it's called in Vanuatu, but it's some sort of, tribal ceremony about something. Mm-hmm. And so it's a bit of a dance and there's, chanting and all sorts of stuff. But there's this video of Dad. So Dad whips out the camcorder and he's in like the front row of this thing. And so you're watching it. And then Dad's telling me about this later because we found these videos. And he's like, so Dad whips it out and he's like, this will go, he's like, in his mind, he's like, this will go 4 minutes, 5 minutes of whatever the dance is. The dance is... It's going for 25 minutes, 30 minutes. Dad's got this camcorder recording the whole time. And then Dad's like, if I put it away, they're going to be offended. Then I'm like, this is boring. So Dad sits there with it on his shoulder for 40 minutes recording like this very serious dance that they're doing. Because they're obviously not like tightening it up for white people. Like, this is what it is. You know what I mean? We're not going to take feedback to be like, hey, can you wrap this one up? Like, Dad's lighting him, And so Dad's like filmed it. And so I know this because Dad, we found all these tapes and Dad was digitizing them all.
Yeah. Yes.
And I think
that's how we started
were
talking about it.
right?
Yeah.
So
because we did the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when Dad had to digitize it, you just have to let it play, right? Because it's tape.
Yeah.
So we just have to watch this thing play, and it's just sitting in this. And so Dad's like watching. He's like, "This was going for ages." So he starts going, "I didn't think it would be 40 minutes." That's why I've got it out for so long. And he go, at some point, Dad stopped recording, but then just kept it on his shoulder because he didn't want it to look like.
Run out of tape.
Yeah, he didn't want it because he was like, I'm running out of battery. And so he just kept it up there. So that was, it was so much footage and it's all just nothing. But
That's so good.
I know. So then we went to, and then like the next holiday we were in Queenstown in New Zealand, we went skiing. And I think I was probably 16 or whatever. And we were like, so I'd learning to ski, and then it was like, Dad had this camcorder, and I don't know whose idea it was, but it was like, let's film like a stack, and then we'll submit it to Funny So Videos.
Oh yeah, right. I reckon that was probably 80% of the submissions, and that maybe the ones that didn't make it, where they were like, oh fuck, this is just someone trying to get on the show.
Totally. Yeah, no, and so I because I was like, I'd never learnt to ski before, so for 2 days it's just bad. You can't ski, and then eventually you figure it out a little bit, and then. Because I was 16, it was like the moment I could figure it out, then you just don't have any like concern about your body. So you're just flying down the hill.
Fear.
And my parents are like, oh my God. So Dad was like, oh, look how quick he's going. So I just going straight. And then I did do a really like huge stack at one point. And then we were like, oh, I wish I'd got that on camera. So then Dad brought the camera the next day, and we're like, let's recreate the magic, right?
Oh, yeah, right.
It always goes well when you try to recreate
the magic. So then, but like the next day, I'm just like, not 16. I'm not exactly a professional stuntman, right? So the footage is just me. It's Dad from so far away. Like it's not up close. It's not a GoPro or something.
He's not doing his zoom.
Yeah. He's only zoomed in so far. But it's just me like a little speck, and I'm just flying. Dad says like, oh, he's going fast or something like that. Yeah. And then I just like so clearly like wobble and then just fall. Like so clearly just like intentionally like European footballer dive. And then it's just like, it's not funny. I just like stop. And then Dad's like, oh, whoopsie or something. I don't know.
Did you submit it?
Yes.
Did you get a reply?
Yes.
Oh, what happened?
And it was just like, thanks for the submission.
You are banned from
Yeah, we've submitted this for police.
We know it was fake.
For fraud, for hijinks fraud. No, I can't remember the details of the letter, but it was basically like, we've reviewed it, wasn't, and it won't be on the show, but thanks for some. It was like, it was like, completely like, not too offensive, but certainly like, hey. And then you put it on the show, and as you were saying, it's like a man. Like the stuff that makes it, you're like, well, what the fuck?
As I was watching it, I was like curious. Let's watch a clip now.
Mm-hmm.
I was curious of like the selection process. It was really confusing.
Well, they have categories too.
They do.
Oh, do they? I don't remember that.
Sort of unofficial categories. Like
Yeah.
sort of they intro and they're like, oh
yes.
the kid,
These are groupings that they'll like.
Yes.
groupings.
Yes.
This is my
Yeah.
chunk. This is their kids' chunk.
This is
of the-
kids getting hurt, basically.
And that
then,
must be. And I mean, I guess
Maybe they need
it's also
certain
important to
amount.
remember that this started as America's Funniest Home Videos. And it's
Yeah.
just an exact carbon copy of that format.
Yeah.
But it's just like, I found some of them like, I don't know, we'll just kind of skim through it.
Yeah. And
Okay, sweet. So you got like a stack there.
and the sound
This is
effects.
the last time
The
I'll
sound
ever go
effects.
to a dentist called William Tell.
And then look, bombed.
what that is.
You know what I mean? Like that bombed.
Yeah,
That bombed.
Yeah.
But this as well is
To
like
get an idea of how tiny
there's
he
a
is,
prop
compare him with his
bottle,
regular-sized
and they're
feeding
saying that
bottle.
the babies are
That's it.
tiny.
That's why is that? But that's just a baby with a huge bottle.
Yeah, I
Exactly.
know. This is what I mean. Like some of
that
them.
one is actually pretty funny.
Oh, you watched this one?
What is she doing?
It's okay,
These
it's a-
realistic crying baby dolls. And she starts getting really shitty with them.
Yeah, right.
She's got a
Stop
second one.
crying.
Oh, right. They're all crying, and she's
Oh,
like
no.
a stressed out single mum.
This was me with my baby born.
Screaming at the baby, shut up.
in its ear.
She puts it in the pram and
Yeah.
she's like, shut up.
So funny. Oh, that's
But that's what I
unreal.
mean. Is like the random selection is.
Maybe they just like.
I'm trying
like,
to find the logic around like, I'm trying to put a producer's hat on and be like, okay, I can see. But I'm like, it's such a random, sporadic thing that it is. It's a bit like, why would they include that? You know?
I guess like Maddie's saying, maybe they're like, okay, we've got, instead of like we need 80 clips for this app, they're like, we've got 5 categories and we need 15 baby clips,
Yeah.
15 these.
It
And
makes
so then they
sense
get
to,
to the
like-
bottom of the barrel for bait and they're like, they can't just throw in, a pretty classic skiing accident one. You know, like-
yeah.
Pretty iconic.
I know, they should have. They should have.
But the funny thing is about
Funnily
it,
enough, we watched a skiing themed episode, Alex. No, I'm joking.
and they're like,
rubbing salt
we're
on the wound.
desperate for skiing as clips. If you got any, we'll take anything.
Anything.
Anything you
Honestly,
got.
if we don't take it,
Just
it's bad.
Fake it. Make it up. But I love it because it's like, if you get on,
Yeah.
you can, like, the grand prize was something big, right? But
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
the prize for every episode, it was like
A watch.
a watch.
Yes.
Or some people get a camcorder or something. And it's like, that's the one thing they've already got, right? That's literally the one
But
thing
we
that
know
we
they don't need
We
that.
do
Then they
not
can get
need-
a second angle,
Getting
right?
a second angle. Dad's got a second assistant. Mum's now it's a 2-camera show now.
Yeah, it's funny. Was there anything? I've got some stuff that I watched that I guess I would qualify as family viewing TV.
Can
Please.
Just one more thing,
Yeah.
because I never saw this, but it's a bit of TV law, which you may know, Danny.
Yeah.
But it's so Australia's Funniest Home Videos, and then they had a spin-off, and it was called Australia's Naughtiest Home Videos.
I don't know about this.
You don't?
No.
This is a famous Australian TV law. So what happened was, it was Doug Mulray. So I never saw it, but I've just heard about
Doug
this.
Mulray. That sounds.
He's
that
like a
name
radio
sounds
guy,
familiar.
right?
Yes.
So it's just like a bit of a bawdy guy. So what they did was it's exactly what it would sound like, I guess. That was like, it was just like
Sexy videos.
X-rated videos. I don't know exactly what that be. It's not like,
God.
it's not X-rated, but like, it must
But
have
was
been
it
like,
like blooper-esque? Like,
I
was
think
it, like
was probably
he's
like a girl
going
and
down on each other and they fucking slip on a banana peel
No,
or
it
something?
wasn't porn.
Awesome porn.
And with still the voices. Oh, yeah, that feels really good. Oh, yes.
Fill me
Boing.
Yeah, fuck me out. Boing, boing, boing. I think we've just made a better show.
You can't get hard. So I don't know exactly what, but I imagine it would be like a wardrobe malfunction, and you can see the boobs. You know what I mean?
Interesting.
So, but this is why it's famous.
You can see the boobs.
The boobs. That's how I'm pitching it. I'm like, everybody. Australia's
Alex is
Funniest
like, I
Home
hope there's
Videos.
one of
you can
those.
see the boobs.
But you can see the boobs. And they're like, sir, please leave. I'm like, oh, did you guys hear me? I said you can see the boobs.
That's the tagline
That's
for
the
the
tagline.
show.
You can see the
You
boobs.
can see the boobs.
Basically, funniest home videos, but you can see
You
the
can see the
boobs.
You can see
boobs.
the boobs, yeah.
But this is why it's infamous. Was it aired one episode, and mid-episode,
One episode.
it gets worse. Kerry Packer, the owner of Nine at the time, was having dinner, and somebody at the dinner table said, "Oh, I saw some ad for some Naughtiest Home Videos or something. I think it's on right now." Kerry turned it on at this dinner with his friends. 15 minutes in the show, he called up the network and he said, "Get this shit off the air." And they pulled it mid-episode.
Whoa.
They literally it aired half an episode, and they cut to an episode of Cheers the Nines had announced technical problems, and they cut a rerun of Cheers mid-episode.
Wow.
Yeah.
I want to see if the episode is on.
So sorry, man. You were saying?
Was it because of the boobs?
Yeah. No, it wasn't enough boobs. It's like I was told I would see the boobs, but
Boobs plural.
Yeah,
plural.
his mate was like, 8 minutes, not one set of boobs.
I've been timing.
Get it off.
But someone said that the footage was saved from like being deleted, but I don't know if it's available on.
It's on.
It is.
Oh.
It was a special spin-off. This is going to say, however, the program was by the network owner
Gary
Kerry
Packer.
Packer.
Yeah.
So they have
1992 is
92.
when it aired. So
Wow.
it is on,
The
it is on
following
YouTube.
program is
YouTube.
classified M.
It contains boobs.
Well, it must
okay.
contain
Only one
boobs.
show is
Oh my gosh, it's Bert
It's
Newton!
Bert!
Oh no, I think this is 20. Like Bert's
sort of
doing an
embarrassment.
episode about
and
it.
it suffered it because
Oh,
it embarrassed
I
the
see.
boss. In 1990,
Right. Interesting. Okay, so this is more.
I thought he was hosting.
This is more like a. You remember that show like 20 to 1? Australia's Notice pulled off live air.
I want to see
Yeah,
it.
here we go.
That would have made the show getting pulled off live.
Yeah. So this is them getting pulled off.
And Maddie got it.
Wow, that's it. Oh, wait, what's Sorry, I didn't hear it. Sorry.
I'm glad someone caught that.
Glad someone was listening.
Wow.
Is it? Well, why is it? It's only 30 seconds. What's going
So
on?
because this is it, right? They
No.
come back from ad break. This is
No.
what
Oh,
happens.
that must have been.
So they come back from ad break.
And by the way,
Or they-
look,
and
it's
then-
a packed crowd too. so-
Okay, he's throwing
Of
to an
course
ad.
it is.
And then it just.
What? And that's cheers.
So I
coming
reckon
on.
in the studio they've gone throw to an ad break.
throw it on ad,
Yeah, yeah.
and then
Yeah. So
figure out
they
put
had-
on the nearest thing. So also it was some, I think it was on the Wikipedia or something I was reading about it, but it said that they had like before, it's like, I don't know, 15 minutes or something when it happened, right? So they had enough to run, but there was like 50 people who had complained about, they're like, this is ridiculous to be on TV. When they pulled it, they had thousands of people complaining, why did you take it off? I was really enjoying that. Why is it not on anymore? Thousands of people complained about them getting rid of it.
After seeing half an episode.
Half a tit,
It's so half a tit, yeah. Where's the other tit? It's so weird to think about that, like, and it's so on Australia's Funniest Home Videos where it is of the days of television where the network would receive complaints.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like now it's people commenting on social media
Totally.
or writing those pop culture, articles and, everybody dumping on and being like, meh, meh, meh.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
back then it was just so...
And if they didn't want to publicize that, they just go whatever. Like if they could deal
Networks
with the
could
complaints.
so easily just be like, go fuck yourself.
Because they have the
you know?
reviews, right?
Yeah, yeah,
They
yeah.
go, the views are so many more people watching than
Yeah.
1,000 people annoyed or whatever
Yeah.
it was would be. So,
Yeah.
but now if there's enough of a furor, they have to deal with it
For
or
sure.
respond at least,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Did you watch that Jerry Springer documentary?
No, I keep like seeing it, and I'm like,
Yeah,
I'm going to watch that.
It's pretty fucked.
Is it fucked? Yeah, that
yeah.
sort of telly was like we never had that level of like ridiculousness, right? But I don't know, like if it was just bullshit.
No, no,
Just
it was
set
all
fake,
It was all. It was the like any reality TV show. It's just inflamed.
Yeah.
Very
it's just
produced.
it's
vibe.
produced, but it's kind of like. You get these people who are vulnerable and maybe
Yeah.
mentally
Oh,
unwell,
Yeah.
and you get them in and you go, right, here's how it works. And you just kind of tell them, this is what you want
Manipulate
to
them
do.
to do it.
Yeah.
And you manipulate them to do it. Yeah. So
Yeah.
it's not like script. It's certainly not fake as in it's actors. Like it's real people.
Yeah.
But they,
But,
they
um,
rile them up directly.
They rile them up a
before.
lot.
Totally,
Yeah.
yeah.
Like they're interviewing people on there and they're talking about like, oh yeah, like we would just to get them riled up, we would run in and throw a chair at the wall and just like this
Anything they could think of.
nuts
Wild West,
stuff,
man.
man.
It
That's,
was
uh,
a Wild West.
Yeah, that's
crazy.
it's freaking wild.
But that was the only other thing I want to bring up. The
No,
social
no,
media videos.
that's
But,
amazing.
yeah, I know.
I'm
Go
so
watch
glad
it.
we got that in. That's
Yeah.
that's fucking incredible.
But so you were starting to say other shows?
Yeah,
like,
yeah. So we our family viewing. I know you had, unless you want to jump in, Maddie. I do want you to tell yours, and I know yours are more current with your viewing habits because they. I mean, I'll let you tell it, but ours, the thing that was on a lot, and this is almost getting into a different category, but was the NRL.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So.
I did not know this.
You didn't?
No.
Yeah. So that was, I was like indoctrinated into it, right?
Yeah.
Like and growing up in the Northern Beaches, I went for Manly.
Yeah,
and,
sure.
And my parents,
They still watch it.
they still watch it, but when they watched it, like you couldn't not watch it because screaming, like they were at the game, get him down. Like just screaming.
funny.
Like I remember going out and like neighbors being like, "Oh yeah, we could hear your mum," like from down the street,
so
like
funny.
just so into it.
That's so funny, 'cause-
And granted, watching an NRL game, we watched the State of Origin like a year ago. You can't help but like,
Yeah.
it's an
you have to
exciting
get
game
into
to watch.
it.
It's so funny because my parents are like from like when Newcastle fans like grew up there, and so they are, and like exactly. Like my mum is like she's not yelling at people in traffic. She's not an aggressive woman, but she thinks every referee is a cheating scumbag who is out to get the Knights. And she's like, this guy, he's always against us. And she's just like, it's like tinfoil hat stuff. She's like, this guy is out to get us, like adamant, screaming, and bullshit.
Your mum being a conspiracy
Yeah,
theorist.
yeah. Mum and dad
Just specifically
cheating.
about referees.
NRL refs, and specifically the Knights.
They have a fucking underground operation.
Yeah. It's the Chinese CCP who are paying the Knights. The fan. Oh, it's unbelievable. But they would get real into it. And it's so funny how that just gets drawn out into your parents.
It was that, and the odd occasional movie. I think you're right as well. It was like when stuff was just on, you would watch it, and sometimes I'd come home a lot, and like my dad would watch the footy show a lot, and so you'd go, oh, okay, I'll just join in.
Yeah.
But NRL was like a big thing that was hard to avoid. It was hard to. You could feel the energy and the excitement coming from that. So you just go, all right, I'll go and get into it.
Yeah.
But what was interesting was when I was a kid, the entirety, and if someone's a hardcore NRL fan, they might be like, actually, you're wrong. But from memory, like for years and years and years, Manly never won. Or they wouldn't even get into the grand final.
Yeah, wasn't that a thing that they were really bad
they were,
for a long time?
Right? And then when I reckon... between the ages of 17 and 20, I was born in 89, so I don't know. Look up when Manly won. But I saw Manly won the grand final. And after that, I stopped watching NRL. Because I think I'm such a movie guy. I'm like, well, that was the end.
That was it. No need for a sequel. What are we doing here? Leaving a high, right?
It felt so weird. Sorry, I got that mouthful of food. But it felt so weird to me to be like, we can do it again next season. You know what I mean? It was like, no.
That's it.
Let's tap out.
They're probably not going to win for another 20 years. You know?
Yeah.
And have they?
I think they have. I think that I'm proving his point there.
You want another beer?
They're not
of course,
too strong,
man.
right? Because
Yeah.
I've got to drop, but no, I can do that. Yes, but Maddie, I want to hear your family, because you said it's current. You're still like, or it's just more TV shows that are still on?
Well, because like my mum doesn't live close by. She lives in central New South Wales. We really only see her on like holidays, Easter and Christmas. So me and my sisters will travel home to stay with my mum for like a week. Thanks. And for some reason, I don't really know how this happened, but we always watch specifically a bad shark movie when we're together.
Right. And I love how there's so many categories of shark movies.
There's so
that you're
many.
like, there's bad ones.
That's specifically bad.
Like, can it just be like marine animal?
It can be marine
sort of
animal
stuff?
adjacent. Yeah.
So it doesn't.
But the thing is,
You know, like watching some like kill a whale and this doesn't count actually. So that is a mammal.
But I had the same reaction. I was like, that's so specific. And then there are so many shark movies. There's so many, like hundreds and hundreds of these movies that are really bad. And I don't know if it's just cheap to be like, because I guess in the water, you can just kind of put this thing without having to do a big prosthetic shark. You know what I mean? It's like
just have a fin or something.
Yeah, for sure. Sorry, Maddie,
but
continue.
we get so much enjoyment out of it.
That's and are you like comparing it? Like, are you like, this is not as good as Hammerhead Attacks 4?
Yes.
Like, is that what you're like?
Well, the ultimate favourite, it's not a shark movie, but Rogue. Have you seen Rogue? The giant crocodile.
I mean, I've seen. I don't think I've seen any of these.
You have to see it.
Is it actually good? But
it is actually good though.
Because there's obviously like Jaws is like critically acclaimed, and then I imagine
we've
there's
never watched Jaws as a family.
That is unbelievable. That is like the weirdest. Imagine if you're like, I'm really into Holocaust movies. Schindler's List, never seen it actually. Nah, hasn't come around. Haven't got around to that yet. I love movies about parks with dinosaurs. Jurassic Park, what's that? hold on, let me get a pen. What'd you say? Jurassic?
I haven't seen
that one. That's so funny. Is it because it's actually good?
I think so. Yeah,
Yeah, because the rest of them are, what is that? Because I know of like Sharknado and stuff like that.
Sharknado's a good one.
That's all that, this is the genre.
But I think Sharknado's in the category of bad
it's
movie.
Too popular.
But it's aware of itself. It's like we know we're making a shitty movie
self-aware,
and it's a bit and we're trying to be funny with it a little bit, you know?
There's like that. There was like Cocaine Bear.
Yes, yeah.
And then,
well, Cocaine Bear was a bit different because that was based on a true story.
Oh, right.
Did you know that?
No. I thought it was the same thing. I thought it was like, let's lean into this silly thing.
Cocaine fell out of a plane and a bear got into it.
Cool.
That was the story.
I did not know that.
I think the fictionalized thing is the bear didn't then they were able to sedate it really quickly. It didn't terrorize the neighborhood or whatever.
Yeah.
It was like obviously frazzled, but that was just the story. And then they went, oh, that's funny.
I always thought Cocaine Bear was some sort of metaphor, but it was actually a bear.
It's a movie
that had cocaine.
I don't think it's very good, but anyway.
But they tried, okay. And because
there's the category of it's very aware of itself.
And Snakes on a Plane, I think maybe is in that.
Yeah,
because that's sort of.
I think so.
I think it lent in maybe.
It did.
I don't know for sure, but for some reason, this is how I think Snakes on a Plane was that they released like coming soon Snakes on a Plane, and everyone was like, it became a meme of how ridiculous a name it was, and then I think they reshot a few takes to lean into it. Yeah, I think so. I'm not 100% sure, but I feel like that the motherfucking snakes off this motherfucking plane was either they reshot that or they reshot the trailer to make it like a bit more silly. Yeah. To not to lean into. Yeah, we're not taking it too serious.
It's the best decision, right?
100%. Well, it's exactly. No one would have known it.
But I think the category that you guys like. This is just as an outsider observing. Because I get super into it now as well.
When Danny gets dragged into it.
Yeah, but when I first was, and you were like, yeah, we get together and we watch a shark movie. I was like, what the fuck are you talking? I was like, first of all, how many shark movies are there? I think I had the Jaws question.
There's an endless supply, I'm telling you.
Yeah. But then I think the category you guys like is those very mid-levels that are really taking themselves seriously and they think they've done a really good job. They're like, this is great.
They're the funniest ones?
No, they're the funniest ones.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
The ones, the funniest and kind of... It's fun to sit there and go, why would that happen?
Yeah. It's the difference between like a watching like a bad comedian and watching like an anti-comedian.
Yeah,
right. Like watching like Tim Heidecker, who's like a genius in that he will do intentionally bad comedy,
like a whole intentionally
Neil Hamburg
bad
or something, versus watching like a terrible comedian who doesn't realize how bad he is.
You're 100% right,
and they're different, and they're both fun to do,
and especially like I'm sure some people that we know when they think they're really good.
Yeah. And they're making like critical. I'm assuming there's like a bunch of like, really like. Shots that the director was like, oh yeah, I'm Spielberg here with this like angle or whatever, and you're just watching. Is that like, or is it the writing? Like, what tickles you when you watch these things? Is it the shots or the like? What is it?
Yeah,
great question.
The writing is pretty special.
The dialogue
the
or
script
something.
is
so corny.
Yeah, really. Oh. But it's so great to just sit there and laugh at it, I think.
Yeah, and it's you. Is the whole fam gets in on it?
Yeah, the whole fam loves it.
It's the whole family. Yeah,
that's so literally. Good. And when did it? Did it start with you just watch one of them and then you're like, let's find another shark movie?
Yeah, I think it was a relatively recent thing. In the last few years it started.
But
there is
funny. I'd love you to talk about. There is a viewing. So. As Maddie said, we get together on the holidays. They sit down, we watch these movies. It's not always shark movies. There's usually because we usually go there for a weekend. Yeah. And then one of those particular nights we'll be like, right, shark movie night. The other nights we might be just watching something good or whatever. But there is and we might have talked about it on the pod before, but there is something that your mum does.
Oh yeah, and we've coined a term for it.
Yeah, so explain.
So my mum has this thing where we put on something to watch as a family, and we'll get maybe seconds into it, and she'll be like, "Nah," and turn it off.
That's so funny.
Sometimes it's a few minutes, sometimes it's seconds.
But also, she's not taking votes. She's not like.
So we've
Captain's pick here.
We've actually coined the term because you know when you're at home. I'm sure you go through this with Sabs. You're at home. You're like, what the fuck do we watch?
Yeah.
You know, and that was always a stress. But now we've coined the term of we can always Beth it.
Yeah.
So
my mum's name is Beth.
You can put it on, and then you just go, nah, shit, and then
that's so great. But I'm not that abrupt, but I will do that sometimes. If I'm not into a movie, I can't get myself in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And Sabs, you know, it's like, you know, when you're watching a movie with someone and they're not into it, it's like, well, I'm not really, I don't enjoy it now either. Like, you know, if they're on the phone. So sometimes I can be 2 minutes into a movie. Yeah. And I'll be like, I'm not. No.
Yeah.
And I'll be like, you know, but are you so into this you want to watch it by yourself? Because I'm on my fucking phone. I'll be honest with you. But you know, not to be rude, but I'm like, I can't. I just don't like it, and it's stupid. And I'm so pedantic because it will be like one line of dialogue or one thing. Because then I'm like, I'm not like a huge movie guy. Like I don't know it, but I'm like, if someone's gonna prove that clunky line. What's coming?
You can tell there's different nuances. There's different things you can tell, like just with tonal, the way it looks. You just go.
But we are so spoiled now because remember we used to have to go to the video shop.
Oh, for sure.
Pick out our special videos for the night, and we'd have to watch them because we didn't have a choice.
And on that, I want to go back and extrapolate my view of your mum's viewing habits as well. But on that, man, we started watching Anora. It won fucking Best Picture at the Oscars. We were starting to watch it, and again, we were just like, okay, like we got maybe half an hour, 40 minutes in, and we were like, okay, like I don't know, it just I guess wasn't stimulating. It's very slice of life.
And you're like,
but
let's put on Australia's Funniest Home Boink, yeah, boy. So funny.
Give Best Picture to this. But then there was something in me that was like, oh, come on, we fired it up again. It's incredible.
Oh, you gave it time.
It's amazing. It's such a good movie.
And was it just, okay, so I've done this very exact thing. Was it you just weren't paying attention? Or it just takes a while?
Yeah, that's the thing.
Which one is it? Because like the best movie, I realized this recently because I have like bad ADHD. And the best movie I've ever seen, and it is an incredible movie, is There Will Be Blood, right?
Yeah, great movie.
But I watched it on a plane.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's a weird way to watch that movie.
No, but here's the thing. It's the screen at the back of the headset thing.
Yeah.
Your phone's useless.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's right there. There's nothing else to do.
Yeah.
And from second one, I was just watching this movie. And obviously it's a great movie. I wouldn't not like it. Yeah. But I remember I was like transfixed. And if I was at home on the couch, at some point I'd be looking at my phone and you miss a line or something. And then you're like, what's this guy? Who's this guy? Yeah. And so to me, I'm like, I'll just judge so many movies, but it's like the first 15 minutes, I'm on my fucking phone.
Yeah. Totally.
And then it's like, then I'm like, who's this guy? So, they haven't set this guy up, and they clearly did.
100%. It's so funny that you say that. I'm more guilty of it than Maddie, but it's funny. Well, first of all, I do want to say I think we should go and give this feedback to studios and be like, have you thought about putting cinemas on planes?
Yeah. Do it.
Have you thought about doing that?
Or just have no reception in there. So
just Faraday cage it for sure. Yeah. But it's on that exact thing. Studios now give feedback on scripts saying, you need to make this more dual screen viewing. And so what that means is they're aware that everyone's looking at their phones when they watch this.
Wow.
So you'll find there's certain sort of recent Netflix series where they'll repeat plot points. They'll
just hammer it home.
Okay, so you're telling me
they will
literally
recap.
where they just sort of look at the screen and go, hey guys, hey. Okay, so
were you listening?
Remember?
Yeah, it's like a recap, but it's mid-episode, you know, which actually is annoying because I hate that when a movie like what's it called where they just like they just spoon feed you the plot. You know, when two characters are walking down an aisle.
Exposition.
That's yes. And they're like, we got to call Danny, whatever his name is, and he's the guy, and you know that I know that he knows that, and they just dumping it all on dumping on it, and I hate that too, I hate it when they, and so I'm like, it's so unfair because I'm like, I'm not going to pay attention, but if you repeat stuff, I'm mad as well, you know?
I don't want it that way.
I don't want it that way. Stop patronising me, but I'm on my phone, I'm in a group chat as well. Like,
I think it's ruined our brains. This social media stuff. It's really bad. Not to get too into that.
Frustrating as a to make movies or something, right?
It is. Yeah.
Because the other thing is you wouldn't have watched it again if it didn't win Best Picture.
Yeah,
if it was just on Netflix,
100%.
You would have watched it once and gone, what a piece of dog shit. And then you've moved on with your life.
And I will say it wasn't bad. The first half an hour was good, but it was... Sean Baker, that director, not to get too into this, but I know.
He's going to nerd out.
He's just very, he's that director that's just very slice of life.
I love Sean Baker. I said that about 15 times. Sean Baker, he's such a king.
Do you know what it said? Did you see Uncut Gems?
No.
Okay, that's a great movie.
Yeah, said that.
And it's very much like that. It's like day in the life, like here's what happened.
Yeah,
but then when we stopped watching and then we fired it back up, it was like, whoa, shit, all this stuff starts happening. Gotcha. Crazy, yeah. Going back to your mum.
Yeah.
This is and speaking of ADHD, I don't think your mum has ADHD, but
Mum's just brutal.
Yeah, but what's interesting is like I've seen her literally do this. Just to further give you an example of Maddie's mum's viewing habits is I've seen her sit there and like this first couple of minutes of the movie and she go, "Oh, who is that? That's Zoe." Like I don't know. Let's say that's Zoe Zeldana, right? Oh yeah, she was in that other one, wasn't she? What was that other one called? Oh, it's called. Oh yeah, and then she'll say the name of the movie, and then she'll go, "Put that on. Let's put that on." She's like, she will see an actor and not
reminder of another movie that she's already seen,
and then be like, let's watch that.
Yeah. But she like before we were introduced to this concept of being able to Beth something.
Yeah,
we kind of when we're watching something, we were like, we've got to just stick it out. We'll watch this to then because we've already started it. But since then, it's very liberating now that we know we can just best something.
Yeah, to just be like, hey, fuck you. Boom.
Yeah, you can just
But
turn
I will
it off.
say, I think, I think this is the hard thing. It's like,
sometimes you do have to.
You got to toe the line. Is this bad or are you just not paying attention?
Yes.
Because I do feel like we nearly missed an aura. You know? And I'm so glad I watched that movie. It was so good.
I mean, we do that with TV series sometimes where I'm like...
Yeah, we do too.
And like, especially because I'm a big like... Who's this guy? What's going on? Like, what the fuck? And Sabs will normally be like actually watching, like, or she'll genuinely be following it. And I sometimes get sick of annoying, like, I don't want to annoy her too much. So I'll literally, it's pretty embarrassing. I'll pull up the Wikipedia plot points of the fucking episode. And I'll be reading along because I'm like, and they're like, Johnny goes to the dentist. And I'm like, oh, that's Johnny. Oh, okay. So I'm like, do you know what I mean? I'm like,
let me give you a hint. You could also do that with ChatGPT.
Yeah, really?
I did. I
Just
tried to.
What's the summary of this episode?
She was watching, what was that show?
I don't remember.
Anyway, it was one of those shows and she was on season 3.
Oh, From,
yeah. And I'd seen a couple of episodes of season 1 and she was like, well, if you want, catch up to me. And I'm like, I'm not going to go and watch 2 seasons of it. So I got ChatGPT. I asked it very specifically, I'm on this episode. Can you give me just the bare minimum
of who the guys are?
The points of what I need to know?
That's so cool. But yeah, it's so
But
good.
It is, I mean, to bring it back to like, it's interesting, like where to go back. This is such a like non-point, but like I mean, it's such an obvious point that probably gets talked about a lot. But to go back to like in the days of like, okay, this is on. This is what we're watching, and all they needed to make was Australia's funniest home videos, and we were like, all right, we're here, we're all sitting down together, and now it's like, hey, you better be fucking Breaking Bad level good out the gates.
Totally.
If you want our attention.
I know.
Although.
Yeah.
Funniest
Australia's funniest home videos was Breaking Bad level good.
No, but funniest home videos now is kind of like Instagram Reels.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. You will send them
right.
to your friends if you think they're funny.
That's
true.
exactly right.
Yeah.
And I've seen there is shows where they're like the funniest, like the internet's funniest videos. Like I not on like terrestrial TV, but you'll see it every now and then on like, I don't know, I think it was an MTV one or something like that, where they just basically like
ridiculousness or something.
Yeah, something. Where it's like, this is the funny video that happened the other day.
On the internet.
And that is what it is.
Yeah.
But
that's how like Tosh launched his career.
Exactly. Perfect example. But I was seeing this because I don't know if you guys do this, but because like me and Sabs, like we watch we'll have like one main show that we're watching.
Yeah. What is it now?
So we just watched The Wire from front to back, like the whole Wire.
Yeah, that's cool.
My mum loves The Wire.
Does she?
I think so.
You didn't like it?
No, I loved it.
Oh, okay.
I just thought
does she?
I thought Beth would be Beth in that whole fucking because it's such a like. It takes a little while to get in.
Oh, she loves that though. Sometimes.
That's why here is the front. I thought Beth would be Beth with it.
No.
Yeah, it's weird. She does stick things out sometimes.
That's great because I'd seen it before and I hadn't seen it in years, and I'm not even a big rewatcher. But I'm like, to Sabs has never seen it. I'm like, it's sometimes hard to tell what your partner be into, right? Because it is. I wouldn't say it's a guy show, but it's a show that like guys rave about more, and then some girls are like, it's a little guy. Yeah, it's a little guy centric in terms of its like fam. So I'm like, maybe she loved it. So then now we're doing The Sopranos because neither of us have watched that, which is crazy, right?
I've never watched it either.
Yeah,
you're going back.
We're going backwards, right?
Yeah.
And because we just love having a show that we can put on.
Yeah,
we know it's good.
Yeah.
We know that it doesn't fall like it's done. It's not like everyone's like season 3 it turns to shit and then go like we don't have to worry about. We just know it's going to be good the whole way.
Yeah.
But so that she will have that, and then I'll have some shows that I watch, and she'll have some shows that she watch. But her ones I will be like walking past, and she'll have like Mormon housewives, Gossip Girl. It's like Mormon
housewives.
Yeah, like the riches, you know, like the rich housewives of Salt Lake City, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, Maddie, you know this crap. It's like there's hundreds of seasons of this stuff.
Yeah.
And it's just complete like blank viewing. She's half on a phone or whatever, and I'm walking past, and it's just these like rich, insufferable women, and their horrendous husbands, and they're just all like acting like they're friends, but they all clearly hate each other,
It's
it's gossipy and bad, right? And I'm walking through the house, and I'm like, this is trash. What are you watching this? And then I'm walking back, and then I'm walking through, and then I'm like standing and watching a bit, and I'm like, oh, why'd she do that? You know? And then I'm walking, and then like 3 days later, I'm like, Becky's gonna be mad about that.
Yeah, 100%.
Barbara's going to be furious, and I'm like, I'm sucked into it, and I'm like,
you
the
watch
plot
it for
lines.
a few minutes, and you go, oh.
And then I'm sitting down, and I'm like pretending I don't like it, but I'm like,
yeah, dude.
So it is trash TV, but it is formulated so well,
like that,
as like just addictive TV because they edit it so like well, and so
it's
like
just it's
bang you
drama.
over the head with it.
It's the same thing as seeing two people fight on the street. That's what it is.
Can't look away.
You know?
Well, it's girl version of like celebrity boxing. You know what I mean? Where it's like guys want to see 2 NRL players fight each other with no skills, and girls want to see like 2 rich women be bitch-eated in the party.
Yeah,
and it's sort of like that, and but it also is like maths. I don't know if you watch maths, but it's. Do
you watch that?
It's exactly the same dynamic. Yeah. She'll watch it, and I will half watch until I'm like, "What the fuck's going on?" Yeah. But I would never put it on. Yeah. But I can see how it sucks you in because it's
definitely
so intriguing.
Yeah.
But also, it's so well done in a horrible way.
Yes.
It's toxic TV. But they are masters of.
Well, what's weird? What I was going to say is the people that I know in my life that really love these shows. It's such a weird juxtaposition because I've really actually intellectual people. Yeah. And they just love this shit. And it's like, you're a smart person. Yeah. Why do you like this?
I know. And I think it's just, because I wouldn't say I'm a smart person. It's
mind-numbing.
But I like watching I also like watching UFC, and it's just 2 morons punching each other in the head.
No, I don't.
Isn't that thing where they body slam, they chair each other?
That's wrestling.
Yeah,
but it's a similar.
We're seeing the difference of masculinity between me and Alex.
I like wrestling too. I'm a wrestling guy. So it's like, but it is so dumb. Yeah. But it's clearly like. It's you can only watch like Anora and whatever. Like you can watch, that's an amazing film, but it's also like I need a little bit of silliness.
You do need in your sort of spectrum of viewing. You do need let's just switch our brain off.
Totally.
Stupid. Yeah,
just a little bit of that. So like we'll watch, like 2 episodes of Sopranos, and it's so tight and it's so like heavy and it's like really whatever. And then it's like, okay, now let's watch
cleanser.
Barbara and Nicole like have white wine and be like, I don't know about those shoes, girl.
Yeah.
And it's like, And
this is where I miss appointment viewing, you know?
Yeah.
I think where a lot of people do, where it's like Tuesday 8:30, it's on here.
That was the whole thing.
Yeah.
That was, I mean, back to like, I think I said it before, but it was like, your parents would watch the news, it'd be one channel, that was their channel. We were Channel 9.
Yeah.
And then whatever was after that, it's like whatever. But then 8 to 8:30 was like the show.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So that would be a good show.
Yeah.
And whatever night of the week, so it'd be Friends.
Yeah.
Right? Or it'd be like ER or something. There'd be some sort of like...
I remember Monday was big because it was South Park and Fat Pizza when
Yeah,
I was in high school.
Yeah. My parents weren't so much into South Park.
Oh, no. They weren't. I was.
But that was like a huge thing because it was on Tuesday at school. You would... Did you watch South Park?
Did you talk about it? Yeah, you talk about it.
Yeah. And if you missed it, you would be like furious. Like you'd be mad. I remember I went on holidays once, like a weekend away up the coast or something, and we couldn't watch South Park on the Monday.
Yeah.
Or something like that. It was like I couldn't watch it.
Yeah.
And I was like furious.
Yeah.
And
you're gonna
I'm
miss
like,
it.
I'm going to miss
upset
it.
about
I
it.
know.
Because there was no concept of like, oh no, I can just watch it online.
No.
Like, it's just like,
No
it's
you missed
possibility.
I missed the train.
Yeah,
and
it's
it might
not
never
coming
come
back.
back.
There's nothing I can do about
We
it.
used to get, so our show was Smallville.
Oh,
we used to
yeah,
get, so we
yeah.
had soccer training on the night that Smallville was
Oh
on.
fuck! They just quit.
Well, I wanted to. So we missed Smallville. We used to get our friend to tape it for us.
Oh
so
wow!
we could
I thought you were going to
watch
say
it.
reenact.
She would do the whole episode.
She recorded it,
Start to
transcript,
finish.
transcribe it.
It's pre-chat GPT.
Interior,
It's just like,
Take copious notes.
interior, Clark's house day. Yeah.
yeah, taping shows was big too. You
Yeah.
have VHS tapes and you would tape whatever.
What was
and
your? I know that we're sidelining a bit away from family TV viewing, but I'm just curious to know something about you, Al. Which is, what was your sort of cartoon? What was your kids' shows growing up?
Oh man, like early morning or afternoon? Like,
Early
you mean
morning, even as early as preschool, or as early as you can sort of remember. You're like, that's my show.
Damn.
Were you a Dragon Ball Z kid?
No,
No?
not Pokemon.
Yeah, I've talked about Pokemon. on this.
Big
Yeah.
Pokemon guy. Like that was the one where it was like whatever. It was on as we were like leaving for school, so it would be like. Would be late as the episode's wrapping up, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so you'd almost miss the last 5
Oh my
minutes, like
God,
to get out the
stressful.
door. And it was like, come on, Pikachu.
Yeah.
And then, so that was a big one. And then, there would be like a block on after school. I can't remember any ones that were like appointment viewing, but they were just on. They were just on. I'm trying to think of some of them, but Pokemon was probably the one. Like I never really watched Dragon Ball Z. It was never for some reason on. I used to watch like God damn, it's like Transformers, but it's Beast Wars.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
okay.
never know
That's
that
one I
one.
never got into, but
No.
it's so interesting because there's those cartoons where they'd come on and I'm like, who watches this? Fucking Al.
Alex.
I'm writing letters if they take it off the air. But it was like, Transformers in general was pretty big.
Yeah.
What was yours, Maddie? Because I'm trying to think. I don't even know what these seem all boys shows, but there wasn't really Was there girls
Yeah,
options?
we spoke about it in a couple of episodes ago. Mine was My Little Pony.
Right, but was that on? Were there different channels for girls? Because I don't remember.
That's a fair question, dude.
I don't remember
It
sitting
is a
through
fair
My Little
question.
Pony.
Like, wrong
Because
channel,
if you look at Cheese TV, it was very boy centric. It was very,
Yeah,
and then they had the
yeah.
odd girl show. You know,
Powerpuff Girls.
you liked that?
It was okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Little
I love Power Rangers. I know that wasn't a cartoon, but
I didn't know you
did
liked
like
Power Rangers.
Yeah.
Could have bonded over that.
Oh,
That's funny.
sorry.
No, it's all right.
Missed the boat on that one.
But shit, this was what was weird, and I found out like a little while ago, was you didn't. I was asking. I was like, "Did you watch GCV? Did you watch Agro's Cartoon Connection?" They didn't watch TV in the morning before school.
No, that wasn't a thing.
That's bizarre.
That is bizarre.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because Beth was like, "No."
I did.
Every morning at 7:01.
Isn't he on another Channel 10 show?
During cricket season, the TV would be absolutely taken over by my dad and my older sister, who was into cricket as well. They would bond over the fucking cricket, and I learnt more about cricket than I cared to know during those times.
And are you all girls? Or
all
no
girls,
brothers?
no brothers.
Oh, so he had a tough fight to keep.
Time.
But he was just, pulled rank and said cricket only.
Gotta do the cricket.
Yeah.
I learned about slips and fucking.
Oh, you've retained some.
Ponting got his 100 or something.
And you're like, I just want to watch fucking Powerpuff Girls, please, Dad.
Yes, please. And Dad was like, no.
Just like, man, there's a lot of in the house.
There's a lot of pulling rank by the parents.
Yeah, we got Foxtel like the first. I feel like we're the first friend of my friends that got Foxtel. And I was so jealous.
Yeah.
That happened.
We had it pretty early.
Did you get the trial? Because that was a big thing. They put a trial and they'd go, okay, we're going to come drill some holes in your wall and install this, and you get a
satellite dish.
You get a trial for a month.
Yeah.
And they're like, do you want us to pick that up? It's going to cost $300 to take it down.
No, we had, and I remember because it was like, I don't know how much it was, probably like $50 a month or something. And it was like, you had remember the packages? So you had there was like a standard package, and then there was like you pay extra for sport, which we got. Yeah. And then you pay extra for like comedy or entertainment. There was like an extra entertainment pack and then a movie pack or whatever.
Yeah, that's right.
And then so there was like different packs. And so we had like, I can't remember what we had, but then every now and then they'd send a letter and they'd be like, we've rejigged what channels are in which package. Yeah. And they'd be like, that, and I remember Dad would just be ropeable because they'd be like, they'd take out a bunch of shit that he liked from the standard one, put it in the expensive one, and they're like, we've added in like, Kids Plus, and we've added in like, like Serbian TV, and we've added in Serbian retirement TV as to compromise, and Dad would just be so mad.
He'd be on the complaints line.
Yeah, he 100% would call them up and be like, this is bullshit. Like, you've taken away like Comedy Channel and like whatever else he liked, and you've given me this dog shit, and you've acted like, because the writing would be so infuriating, because it'd be like, we've rejigged the channels to make it more to give better options to our like they wouldn't go, hey, listen, we need some more cash. So, like, you gotta come on, stop being tight and pay for the fucking.
We are growing as a company. We'd like to build our profits, please.
So they would just send this letter, and then from that month you'd lose that channel until you paid, and then you have to get the thing.
I remember when we got a Foxtel trial, or like I think it was Optus back then. It was
exciting.
That was a good month or
all
2 months.
Cartoons available.
You felt like having on the Disney Channel. You were like, you felt like I was part of some elite.
I reckon I reckon the jump from standard 5-channel TV to Fox is a bigger jump in your brain than that to like Netflix and that.
Yeah, 100%.
Because you went from 5 channels with ads to like 60 channels. Yeah, and
for a while with no ads.
No ads. Yeah, and you would always find something, even though you couldn't pick exactly what you wanted. There would be like, you had so much, like it was mind blowing.
The
options were,
and they were good shows.
Good shows,
like
man.
Cartoon Network, Disney Channel back then.
We used to watch The Simpsons on every Saturday morning. They'd play like 6 hours.
Animation Domination or whatever. Yeah, so
and
good.
We would watch it, and then it'd be +2.
Yes,
and so then we'd watch it again. And Mum would be walking past. Are you watching the same? And we're saying the jokes. We'd seen the episode even before that day. We'd seen it before. But for some reason, we just like.
Couldn't get enough.
Do you know what I liked? I liked on those things. I liked starting late. Yeah. So like let's say it starts at 9. I start watching it at like 10:30. Yeah. So then I watch it till the end, and then I go to +2 and I watch the episodes I didn't catch.
Yeah. It's great. It was
so
like
good.
6 hours of this every Saturday.
Oh man, so good.
Amazing.
Well, man, thank you so much for coming
on.
Oh
man,
thank you.
It was so much fun.
This is so great.
It was great to reminisce.
I want to get this right as well. If you're in Canberra, if you know anyone that's in Canberra, just go and see it. It's such a fucking good live show.
So much fun.
And you
It's
don't have
such
to
a good
know
pod.
we're going to do it for Canberra. We're not going to. You don't have to have even listen to the pod. Our pod before, because it's basically just like we shit on Canberra a bit, and we've got some stories about Canberra, and we've got some local Canberra comedians to come by.
Oh, cool.
And so they're just going to tell some stories about like going out in Canberra. So it's going to be like, if you're from Canberra, obviously you're going to really relate to it, right?
Yeah.
Like it's basically that. So yeah, even if somebody hasn't heard the pod before, they'll actually.
Oh, absolutely.
Really
So honestly,
awesome.
if you've got a friend, I'm sure people who live in Canberra, now I'm shitting on Canberra, are always looking for something to do. So if you've got a mate that lives down there, or if you live down there, just get along, because it's really good, and that's happening this Saturday. You can get tickets at the Canberra Theatre Centre.
Canberra Comedy Festival.
Canberra Comedy Festival
That's
as well.
part of. Yeah, there's heaps of shows on as well. So go.
And then
go see
Sydney, Saturday 10th of May at 5:30. Go and get tickets to Community Noticeboard Live.
stuff. Yeah, man.
That's going to be
great.
sick.
Yeah. We're pumped for both shows. So.
We're going to come along.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so exciting. That's the day
I need
after
to
my
get-
birthday.
Yeah, it's the day after her
okay.
birthday.
Yeah.
It's a great birthday present. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
That's
awesome.
good.
Can't wait,
I'm
can't
going to
wait.
sneak in another cameo.
Oh my God.
We're going to tell security. At least not a photo, Danny. If you see this man, don't let him approach the stage.
Can't help himself.
Yeah.
Just my laugh will fucking cameo in.
It always does.
Oh, God.
And follow Community Noticeboard on
Instagram.
There you go.
Good
Instagram.
stuff. I think it's
Yeah.
Community Noticeboard Pod on Instagram. And yeah. Get around.
That's amazing. And and hey, rate us 5 stars. Barry Walsh from Blockbusters told me we should do that.
Yeah,
so now
rate
we've
these guys.
Rate us both.
Yeah, rate us both. Yeah, rate Community Noticeboard and us 5 stars.
5 stars.
And
Apple, Spotify,
5
all
stars
of it.
only, really.
Yeah.
all of
yeah,
that
yeah.
shit. Yeah, if it's not 5, just
Best. Nah. 30 seconds into this episode.
I think that's what must have happened.
She's Bethed us.
She, you know what?
She used to listen.
We'll repeat this. We've said this before, but it's a very cute story where her mum did listen. She wanted to support, but she didn't know how to use it. She didn't understand. So all she could get to do was to play the one episode. So she just kept listening to the same episode again and again. And I was so excited. I was like, oh my gosh, we've got all these new listens.
Yeah, and it was just
I'm
mum.
like, wow, this episode's really popular.
Oh, mid New South Wales is really popping off.
She
Doing
goes-
live shows.
She goes, oh, your podcast is so cute. I'm like, oh, thanks, Mum. You've been listening. She's like, well, just the one episode. She's like, I don't know how to go to the next one. I'm like, okay, Mum, I'll show you.
That's so cute.
Bless her.
All right, to sign off, we say goodnight, kids. You can join us if you like, Alex.
Yeah.
All right, Maddie, do you want to start us off?
Yeah, thanks for listening. Good night, kids.
Good night, kids.
Good night, kids.